Hey, everybody. Welcome to Between the Bellz, the podcast that's in your corner. My name is Adam Alexander. How you doing? Of course, with me are like my two, like if I had two left hands, if I had two right hands, I don't know how you say it, but two most influential people in my life right now. We got Coach Maggie Duarte.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said
there
it right.
We go.
Okay, I said it right. And everybody's thinking that I said the Duarte right. That's not the part I messed up last time.
Yep.
And then, of course, we got Coach Joe Hits Vargas.
What's up?
What's going on, sir? So, thank you guys. Now, how are we going to start off this first episode?
Man.
I figure if we just going to do it, we just going to do it.
Just do it.
Okay, no, I mean, and I figure, like, let's go in. I think this is a boxing and mental health-based podcast. So the way I would like to see it is this is the weigh-in where we introduce ourselves. We're at the table. You know, we're not going to get on a scale. I'm not getting on a scale.
I didn't make weight.
You didn't make and so, but we're just going to, what are our qualifications? Me personally, my qualifications is I've gone through probably the toughest season of my life, which was leaving a bad mentality behind. You know, I spent like the past 100 days or so working on my mental health. And that was really, I found that was like just going through, you know how when you start a garden, first thing you do is turn over the dirt?
Yep.
That's what that was. It was like, I was like, Dad, there's some dead bodies here. You know?
Shit. Where were you at?
I was in a dark, like I told you, you're today in the gym, the song, what's his name? Kendrick Lamar's song, I Love Myself came on.
Yeah.
I told Maggie, I was in such a dark place, I hated that song. I just couldn't stand it. And it wasn't for rhythm, it wasn't for flow. It was just like, I didn't like the message of it.
Gotcha.
And now, like, it came on today, I was like, I love that song. I was like, I love myself. Right? I was really chilling it. And what I've came across, because I've been posting every day all my journal entries on TikTok. You guys have seen it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people felt it way more than I thought. Like, I didn't think anybody would do it. The only reason I started posting them on TikTok is because I have a consistency problem, or had a consistency problem. I was like, okay, if I start doing this on TikTok,
You have to hold yourself accountable.
right, or it's going to be a much bigger failure if I miss a day. So I don't want to do that. And then people just started connecting with the things. Like one time I talked about how happy I was that I had roadside service, you know, with my insurance. And this one dude was like, man, car insurance, car tags, all those things gave me a hard time too. I was like, oh, dang, that's dope. You know, so it's like really help me, help you type situation. Now, Coach Joe is the boxing extraordinaire of like, so he brings the boxing, but also has been a real key to me bettering myself. You know, it's kind of a guidance. You know what I mean? Like applying that guidance.
Yeah.
Like how often? Like talk about guiding your fighters, because you work with a lot of pro fighters. You're one of the best I know of. Like when you're guiding a fighter, what's the key? What's the first thing you look for?
Their first thing I focus on is obviously their mental wise or physically. I look at skills first.
You look at skills first.
Skills first, and then I look at how dedicated they are to the craft.
Okay, so that's mental. Dedication is mental.
Yeah, dedication is part of being mentally strong. And then no matter what fighter or what level they are, they all have like mental weaknesses. Every fighter does. So then it's just finding that and start building on that.
So when you say you look at skills first, it sounds like you say, okay, does this guy have like the ability to do something?
Of course, they have to grab your attention. They have to be able to. It's like watching a professional athlete. When you see a baseball player, a football player, they have to have the skills. Once they have the skills, you can build off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then immediately you go to, okay, how is this person going to be to work
How are they going to
with?
react once they get hit?
Yeah.
How are they going to react when they get challenged? How are they going to react when they get pushed into a corner? You know, and that's what it is.
Okay. Now, best case scenario, how should a person act when they get hit, when they get pushed into a corner?
We're all different, man. I can't give you an straight answer for that. Every fighter has been challenged in different ways in life. Some can respond. The best way to answer that question is respond by taking action. You could take action with your feet, moving out the way. You could take action, which I hate, but you can clinch the man or you can throw back.
Okay.
No.
What I didn't hear you say was, and this is my side of it, quit. That's a big instance, just in life, when you do the metaphor boxing is life, which I do, and that's what Between the Bellz is about, is like when you get hit, you can't quit. There's no putting your hands down.
If I allow that, I would have a bunch of weak fighters. So, they sort out because like when fighters come in and they have they want to quit, it's like, just go ahead and go. I'm not even going to focus on them, because if they quit now, they'll most likely quit in a big fight or in a fight when they get challenged.
Oh man, that's just garbage.
But even then, like members are never going to fight, and I have them in the gym, and I have a mentality where I don't let them quit. I don't allow them to drink water between the rounds. I don't let them do any of that. While they're there, they're going to be boxing for that hour.
And I know that you don't allow, from personal experience.
Yeah.
Me and Coach Joe sparred the first time we sparred, and I was one of those dudes that you never see the TikTok, whatever, where it's like guy off the street comes in and challenges the coach.
Yeah.
Like after my first year at the gym, maybe I thought I was.
I got it.
Whatever. And so I was like, Coach, let's spar. And I trained. I got ready for it. I did what I knew I could do, to get ready for it. After the first round, I was like, Coach, never mind. Coach drowned me. I couldn't breathe. And then when I said, Coach, we can't do no more. Coach was like, no, you owe me 4 more rounds.
Yeah.
I was like, and the way he said it, it was like, damn it, I owe this dude 4 more rounds.
How am I gonna do this?
Yeah, and I had to give it to him, and he doesn't let people quit.
But would you be happy if I would let you quit?
No, I wouldn't be here.
Exactly. So that's the whole point. Like when we posted those little videos of us sparring, I seen all the comments. That guy's a dick. The coach is an asshole. But nobody knows the plot behind what was behind it. What was and that's cool. I understand whoever says things like that, because I don't really say nothing when I see videos of people posting, because I don't know the story behind the sparring.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like, well, okay, I'm a dick. I'll take it.
Yeah, no, it's like you. That's that. I love that mentality when you don't mind being the villain, knowing that they just can't see your cape.
Yeah,
like you are the hero. So I look back on that, and it's crazy. And then after that fight, I didn't learn my lesson. I'm like, let's do it again, because I survived.
That's why I respect you. That's what I admired about you, that you wanted to do it again.
Yeah, but
there was a misunderstanding there where you told me you wanted it 100%.
No. There was no misunderstanding. I just didn't know what 100% was.
Oh yeah.
That's what. So we went again, and this one only went 1 round, because I said, Coach, give me, don't hold back, blah blah. Ooh-wee. Like I have the video of that on my phone, and only a select few people get to see that.
I wouldn't post that.
Yeah, I would. I thought Coach was mad at me. It was a real.
I hugged you right after.
Yep. Yeah. It was a real. How much money do I owe this dude? Type
but
situation.
It's happened before. Where people were like, one time I was teaching a class, and this guy comes in my class and he goes, "I want to go with you 100%." Mm-hmm. And I had a class, and I told the class, "Okay, well, you guys are going to see what 100% looks like today." And the guy lasted about maybe a minute and a half, and he had experience. At that time, I was like 29, 30, a little younger, and I was still sharp, and yeah, it wasn't nice.
Oh man, I was like, you just what?
Yeah.
Oh man, I had like the wise teacher Obi-Wan Kenobi type, type deal.
But I'm still sneaky now.
This dude got straight Anakin. He got a straight Anakin beating.
But now I think I'm a little bit more dangerous, because I'm like more wise. Now I take away I know that I don't have the gas to go heads up with a young guy, so now I just let them fall into the traps.
Yep. And
that is what I teach to my fighters now. It's not about just going out there and fighting. It's about letting them fall into traps.
Okay. Like, give me one trap.
I mean, you can see like just reaction. Like if I throw a punch and they react to it, then you set them up by keep feigning that punch, and then you come over the top of something. It's always like, I always tell the guys, learn how to hide your intentions.
Oh, matter of fact, you told me one too, the hide your intentions one.
Yeah.
You were like, hey, just get inside, don't do
that. Oh,
nothing.
that was recently.
Yeah, it was a couple.
I told you, hey, just
get inside, don't do nothing.
Just get inside and have some fun. Stay in that fire.
That scares, that's a real, so last time I sparred, I tried that a couple times. It's a little difficult for me, because the first thing they're going to do is try and pop me.
Of course.
And then I don't do anything, but just move around. So, but it tires them out, gets them swinging, gets them moving. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. But also, I have to work harder to protect myself from that uppercut.
From anything.
Yeah, but mostly from that uppercut, because that's where I'm going in for. Now, let's go to Coach Maggie Duarte. Now, you started working under Coach Joe in the past year.
Year and a half, 2 years.
It has been 2 years?
Almost 2 years.
What?
Damn, Maggie went fast, bro.
No, for real.
She
it
said,
has. What made you want to get into boxing?
Oh, man. I think just growing up watching my dad watch fights, I've always been really curious about it. However, I didn't put on my first pair of gloves until 2015. However old I was, I think I was 26. And just from watching it, I picked it up naturally. Like, just naturally picked everything up.
Really?
Yeah. And I liked it. However, there was a lot of ego involved. A lot of ego involved, for sure. You know,
Talk to me about the ego that you had to...
Well, I was like, oh, fuck. I picked this shit up naturally. Like, I'm good, you know? And then I had one of the coaches that I was working with at the time. He was like, I had signed up to go to the military, right? So this was about March. I wasn't leaving until September. And he was like, dude, let's fight. Let's compete. La, la, la. Like, let's make some money. And I was like, nah, dude, I gotta go to the military. And I let that shit get to my head, you know? I was like, you know, I could fight if I want to, but anyway, long story short, the reason I got into sports psychology and into working with coach in the first place was because I was going through a lot of shit all in one period of time, right? And I allowed myself to hit rock bottom pretty much, right? I found out that I wasn't who I thought I was. So I got really super into personal development. And I chopped it up with Coach one day. And the rest is pretty much history, man. I think, you know, one thing that I admire a lot about him is that what happened is, and I realized this not too long ago, maybe a month ago or so, is that he saw something in me that I didn't see myself in. To this day, I still haven't really, I don't think I see myself the way that he sees something, you know, that I have. I still haven't discovered it, but I'm on my way there, you know?
Yeah, no, and I think that's a real big piece of encouragement to have a mentor, you know, believes in you. You don't even know why.
Yeah.
But you're just like, you know, that keeps you going.
Yeah.
You know, because with me, having people, when I got into the hard spot, because I reached that rock bottom too, where I wasn't the person I thought I was. I believed I was. I think we've talked about this before. And what happened was I was left with this kind of shell of a person once I realized that there was nothing there.
Right.
And just to have Coach Joe in my life was inspirational, because I was like, okay, you know, I can't be all that bad because he's there. So let's get moving. You know, what do you think? Like, getting over your ego, what was the biggest challenge there?
Like I said, is that finding out that you're not who you thought you were. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's rock bottom.
I mean, what's the biggest challenge to get over that?
Get over that?
Because that stops a lot of people. They don't face it.
So that's a good question. I'll tell you that the hardest part about that is just having the awareness. Having the awareness that in itself is challenging. You know what I'm saying? So and then after that is just getting rid of the old programming, man. And it takes time, and you have to be patient. And that's one of the biggest challenges, being patient with yourself. You know, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot, and it's not overnight. That shit's progressive. Yep,
definitely. I think your influence on me was huge, because if I said anything negative, which I did a lot when we met around that time, you would call it real quick. The most notable time I remember is like Coach Joe talked about, because I used to be a comic, you know that. And Coach Joe was like, man, I regret never getting to see you do comedy. And I was like, man, you didn't miss nothing. Maggie was right there going, man, why would you say something like that about yourself? And I always held that, you know, just to like, that's, you know, I was speaking, you know, I put 10 years of this and I'm dismissing it like that, you know, like that's bad. And it really started me to the point where I think the first move I made to become my best self was no more negative talk.
Right.
At all. No more I can't. If I don't want to, then I don't want to. That's the difference between I can't and I don't want to. But it called honesty to the picture, and just me being intentional in all my words, like having to be positive. Like I started like speaking slower because I had to process them. I was like, do I want to say that? Do I want that to come out of my mouth?
Right.
Like that became so positivity as best I could started coming out of my mouth, and that really starts the brain to moving better. To just moving. Now I want to start. You said let's talk about this, and I really wanted to start with this. You said what's better, hard work versus talent?
Yeah.
Just go like what do you like explain that concept.
Well, I think it's a case by case basis, right? This is the reason that I thought about this.
I think the question was, can hard work beat talent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that's the way I asked myself. I was like, can hard work beat talent? Does hard work always beat talent? Does talent? Because I think it's a case by case basis. It depends on who's against who, and it depends on how much talent and how much hard work, and there's so many factors that go into it. A lot of people just think it's that simple, but it's not. It's very complex. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you, in my opinion, at the end of the day, I think having both is what can make you great. So it depends, and that's why I was like, well, I think that's something good to discuss, because can hard work beat talent? What about talent just immensely outweighs hard work? You can work as hard as you fucking want, but you don't have that talent.
Right. If you don't
know
have,
what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Now I have what I want to say, but now coach, let's go. Now coach has seen probably both sides. You've seen the talented fighters, and you've seen the hardworking fighters. Who wins?
She just said it perfectly. It's a case by case, but a perfect example I can give you of talent and hard work is Floyd Mayweather. He is both. He's a hard worker and he's very talented. I don't mean to offend anybody, but Manny Pacquiao, great hard worker, very few, not much talent.
Really?
He just throws. He's a kamikaze. He throws shots from all angles, and his hard work is how he fights.
Okay.
He's a hard worker. He doesn't set nothing up. He just fucking shoots in and throws punches. Mm-hmm. That's why he's been knocked out a couple times,
Okay.
But no disrespect. He's a fucking beast to me. He's a warrior. He's exciting. But that's what I mean by hard work and talent combined. Mm-hmm. Now, you got guys that are just talented. Talent could just take you so far because you need to fucking be grimy and strong when those especially in the professional fights when you fight past 8 rounds. That's where talent usually fades after the 4th or 5th round.
It does, yeah. And that's where when you asked that question, I thought of myself. I've always been a talented person, but never a really hardworking person. Mm-hmm. And I always, and I kind of always position myself to make my talent, shine as bright as it could. But towards the end of that life as an entertainment, as that life as a look at me type person as I was, I realized, I was like, man, you don't work hard at all. Like, you do what you can, and you do kind of what comes easy to you. Mm-hmm. But I would shy away from the things that I was possibly going to fail at. Mm-hmm. So, like, I think a talented person who's purely talented and doesn't work, that person is afraid of that worker who's hardworking, because that hard worker, they may not develop talent, but they'll develop skill. Now, Manny Pacquiao will say he's skilled. He's skilled. We will not, and skill trumps talent if that talent doesn't have hard work behind it. Mm-hmm. Talent added to hard work gets the trifecta. It gets the talent, the hard work, and the skill added to it. Absolutely. So I'm like, that's your
super fighter.
Yeah,
that's your super fighter.
Yeah,
Most fighters just have 2 things.
Yep.
Really? Like, who's a super?
I got to be careful with that one because we work with a lot of fighters, and we're in camp with a lot of big names. Like, I don't want to insult nobody. I felt bad making that reference about Manny Pacquiao because I know some of the people that are in camp with him.
I don't think you.
No, I understand, but I work with these guys. That's why it's kind of difficult, sometimes to bring stuff up like that. But there's a lot of fighters who just have 2. Mm-hmm. And that's how it is in the sport. You can't have too many Floyd Mayweathers.
No, you can't. And one thing, just to show you, camps coaches dude Kwame Brown. What's Kwame's last name? Ritter. I went to college with a dude named Kwame Brown. Okay, that's where that came from.
Shout out to Kwame Brown.
And I remember him
and Kwame Ritter
because he was the first. Like, he was mixed, okay. but he was mixed on his white father's side.
Gotcha.
So it's like he was really white, had, looked like the Fonz more than he did a dude named Kwame, right? And then his name was Kwame Brown. We were just like, what is going on? So his name, but Kwame Ritter.
Yeah.
He's a sparring partner with Canelo.
Well, him, Ulises Sierra. We had a kid named Java Kashvili from the country of Georgia. We've been in camp with Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. We worked with Floyd before, but we were in camp with Canelo, with Andre Ward, the Charlos, Jaime Munguia. Mm-hmm. So I've been in all those camps with those guys. We've been sparring some of those top elite guys. So the question was, he's currently sparring him, but he just stopped because he's preparing for his fight now.
Oh, he got a fight?
Yeah, he fights May 27th here in San Diego.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm so Kwame, talk about another person who influenced me. He influenced me to quit being such a smartass.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Well, he needs help with that shit.
I'm sorry, but okay, so
I hope you're watching, Dick.
no, this is low key. I just kept it to myself. Something happened.
He's a great dude.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. This is what happened. I would always mouth off to him. He was like, he's got muscles, blah, blah, blah. I'd always smart off to him. And then one day he said it to you. He's like, I'm going to have to tune him up. And I said to myself, I don't want that to happen.
I just heard it.
and right then, it was like, I said, I don't want that. I thought to myself, I don't want that to happen. And then I said, oh, you know what you should do? Stop being a dick. Start being nice to people.
Yeah.
And like the next day, I was like, man, you got one of the best smiles I ever seen. And he smiled. And he said, oh man, thanks. And that was it. I was compliments to everybody. I was like, it was like no need to get punched in the face by somebody who's 100% muscle.
That fool got his teeth whining. They did a good job though. I'll tell you that.
But even then, Kwame,
the attitude.
We've been helping him. Maggie's been a great key component. Where sometimes she'll corner him because skill wise and all that stuff. I just say little things, and I'm usually sitting in the background, and Maggie will be in the corner working with him, and she goes because she kind of like soothes him and calms him down, and he listens to what he has to listen to when she's in the corner. Yeah, me, I get a little bit high tempered, quick. Like if they don't listen a few times, I get frustrated fast, and she can kind of calm me down and take over.
So now when you're in somebody's corner, you got it's a high intensity.
It's NASCAR pit stop.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah, it's a pit stop.
So how do you got to?
Some of those high level guys, they spar 4 or 5 minute rounds, and you got 30-second breaks.
Yep.
So think about that. Fucking NASCAR cut in half.
Man, that's crazy. So how do you convey your message? What's the best way to?
I'll let her answer first.
You got it. It's the key, and I think the most challenging part of that is the message getting through.
Getting it. So because actually,
don't ever know if it really did.
I think one time when I sparred Coach. Now this was just unintentional. Like I did not show up to spar Coach that day.
Yeah.
But I showed up for the noon class. Nobody else showed up. And I was about to go home, and Coach was like, no, we'll go a few rounds. I was like, here we go. Yeah. And he was like, Maggie, corner him. Mm-hmm. And you kept telling me to calm down, because that was my problem, was that I would get hit, and then I wouldn't quit, but I would get upset. Like, I was like hitting somebody back would be mandatory. Or, like, he hit me that hard. You could tell that my machismo was activated. Mm-hmm. And you saw that immediately. It was just like, calm down. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you recognize that?
I immerse myself. I put myself, if you ever notice, and I'm just really locked into what I'm looking at, because I like to observe everything, and it's hard to observe everything because and this is something that I was challenged with in the beginning. I asked Coach, I'm like, how do you know what he's gonna throw? Because he's observing the other guy. He mentioned something really important. I'm watching the other guy. I already know what our guy has, and I'm like, fuck, because I like to observe what our guy is doing. I want to observe where he's looking at, what his facial expressions, how he reacts to things, everything. So I really, really personally, I immerse myself in the moment.
And so when they get to your corner, you know exactly what they've experienced. Yes,
a lot of it is not verbal too. A lot of it is just what what I know. And so you may or may not be right. However, it's challenging because you yourself, I find myself having to calm myself down to be able to get the message through.
Yeah, it's got to be like uber exciting.
And you won't know until if the message got through until you see them.
Until they get back in there, until that second bell.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. I was just going to take this moment, too, to talk about what Between the Bellz means to me. And that's because this is where it is. It's like when like a year ago, and I think I told both of you about this, I woke up after and had like $1,600 worth of parking tickets on my car. It might have been $800 in the beginning, but once the administrative fees hit, blah blah, it was like I had a bunch because I live on a street sweeping street, and I don't always. I didn't always move my car. You're good. You're good till morning. Oh, you parked on the Friday side.
Yeah.
Right, and some days I would think I had it, but I was parked on the Friday side. But on Friday, when I thought it was just I wasn't getting it right, and so I got off the couch at $1,600, and my tags are expired. And I was like, dude, you're between the bells right now. You need to get in there, take all the hits, get this money. And it took me about 6 weeks to get it together. But the mentality was between the bells. Once you have that first bell and that round starts, there's no quitting. You're going to get hit. You got to hit back. You got to keep fighting. You got to keep going. You got to keep going. You got to keep going until that last bell. Then you got the little break, and that's where the between the bell mentality is. So now it's like when I settle down, I'm like, man, okay, I'm between the bells right now. I got to get this down. And catching and so you were saying you don't know if someone's learned the lesson till you see them between the next set of bells. That's actually when you're supposed to see it.
It's because some people will say, yeah, I got it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I won't do it.
Like, it's like, I think of every parent with a kid. It's like, I'm telling you, are you listening? Yeah, Dad, I got it. And then they go out, and you're not going to see if they've learned until they get out on the street, Now, another thing that we're going to do on the Between the Bells podcast is, since we got an expert right here in Coach Joe Vargas, we're going to talk about fights. Now, we got the Garcia-Davis fight coming up. Who are you picking?
I'm not an expert. I'm experienced. There's no such thing as an expert when it comes to calling fights.
I'm gonna edit that part out. You're an expert.
No, you leave it on there. Leave it on there. Bro, that fight to me is exciting. I'm proud of both guys for making that fight happen because a lot of guys don't face each other till their career's done. They're both taking a big risk by fighting each other. I don't care who wins. It's going to be exciting for the boxing fans. And Devin Haney Haney's also calling everybody. We're just talking about nobody's calling Shakur Stevenson, but he'll fight anybody. So it's exciting to see all these young men, anywhere from 23 to 26 years old, trying to fight each other.
And that's good. Like, I grew up, one of my least favorite fights is Hagler, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah, but they're being biased because Marvin Hagler's from Boston, where you're from.
Right. Yeah. And he's left-handed where I am.
But you are.
Yeah, so it's like, and he's black. Like, you
black?
Don't do that.
I didn't never do that, dog. Don't do that. My bad, man.
But no, but it's like Leonard waited until it was safe to fight Hagler. He didn't fight Hagler when Hagler wanted to fight. He waited until he saw Hagler like emotionally tired, kind of drained on the sport, and said, "Okay, now I'm gonna get him." And then went in and they had to fight. This is the opposite situation.
But I'm not arguing that point. Those four guys all faced each other: Duran, Hagler, Hearns, and Leonard. And that's kind of like, if you could get Devin to fight one of the winners of this fight, then you could get a trilogy like that with those guys. I mean, not trilogy, but all those guys fighting each other like that, man. Even Teofimo get in there. And Devin is fighting Lomachenko. He beats Lomachenko convincingly. And then he fights the winner of this fight. Or like Shakur. Coach Bashir said today, nobody's calling out Shakur. Shakur's the man too.
I like Lomachenko a lot.
I like him too.
I like watching him. I like watching him just kind of get in there. And his level of focus is like, I'm a novice fight fan. If I call you an expert, I definitely have to point out that I'm a novice fight fan. And one thing is, I love Lomachenko's focus and ability to attack. I really do. Now, so from your expertise, Who do you think is going to walk away with this one?
Every day I flip-flop, but if I have to put it right now on the mic, I'll put it this way. I'll give you a double answer. If it's before 6 rounds, I got Ryan. And if it goes past 6 rounds, I'm with Tank.
So if Tank doesn't so if Tank doesn't take out Ryan and
No. If anybody's gonna take anybody out and everybody's gonna say, "Oh, fucking Tank is strong and he's powerful," yeah, you're right. But I don't. Tank also wears you out with that pressure. He doesn't knock anybody out in the first round, second. Well, at least the big names, you know. Ryan could catch him early. It could be a short night for Tank. But if Tank weathers that storm at the beginning of the fight of Ryan Garcia's explosiveness and speed, I think that Tank will wear him out and take him into the later rounds and then punish him in the later rounds and stop him. But if it's early, it's Ryan Garcia by knockout.
If it's early, it's Garcia by knockout. If it goes past 6, it's going to go to Tank.
Yeah, even with a decision, I think we'll go to Tank.
And a decision.
Because his fight style is fan favored.
So the only way Garcia can get this is a knockout.
In my book. But I've been wrong 1,000 times. That's why I want to write our record at the end of this.
Oh, no, I'm definitely.
Yeah.
Like on the next episode, that's why we're going to open.
So I guess I'm calling 2 fights, right? And if Ryan wins by decision, I was wrong on both of them. And if Tank knocks him out before 6, I was wrong on that one too.
Actually,
that's a political answer.
Yeah, no, it's very diplomatic, very diplomatic. Maggie, you got a say in this?
I personally think it's 50-50. I'm always looking at things on the mental side. That's how I like to see things, and I do think that Ryan is definitely he's got the mental edge.
So what's the mental edge in a fighter? And I asked this question pointing out to our listeners the metaphor of boxing and life. Like if you see a boxer that you like and they have a mentality, take that. You know, like that's what you can apply to your life. So what's the what mentality gives a boxer an edge?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and it's not at the same time. And that's a really good question, man. You got me because, very rarely am I stopped in my tracks with shit. But I think that they do what works for them. You know what I'm saying? It's what works for them, and that's it. I don't know. It's hard, man. You got me with that one.
No,
I'll tell you that.
And that's a tough question per se, because but I don't think it goes to the case by case. I remember what Mike Tyson said. He said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face. Okay, I think the mental edge goes to the person who can keep that plan after getting punched. That's the thing, because I've lost my plan like a bunch of times. Like I'll go to the gym and I'll be like, okay, I'm gonna work on my jab today. That's all I really want to do. Then I get hit, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this motherfucker, and it's over. Like I forget my plan, and I kind of get into a pissing contest.
Yeah.
Or it's like I'll go and I'm going to work on my jab, and then I get hit hard. I'm like, oh, I'm working on defense for the rest of this round because I never want to get hit that hard again. But if I go in there and you can stick to your plan, stick to your game plan. This is baseball. Coach knows I love baseball references. If every batter that goes to the plate with a plan is more likely to get a hit than anybody who just goes up there ready to swing. Yeah. And I think that if whichever fighter is able to stick to their plan, not adjust. Make adjustments, but not change, is the one that's going to come out the winner.
Look, man, one word that keeps popping in my head is pressure and being able to endure it.
Yes, and that's life. That's life. If you can when you endure, I won't say if. When you endure life's pressure, you come out on top. And it's the same in the ring.
Yeah, that's why I give the mental edge to Ryan. Is because of that. Because I think the kid can endure the pressure. I imagine either or getting knocked down. You know what I'm saying? I personally think that Ryan would handle it better.
And he's got up from being knocked down before. And we'll see how he reacts. He's gotten up and knocked the guy out. The only reason I knew that Tank knew he was in for a fight, they might be selling it as an easy fight, but he put all kinds of claws, and he never put claws before on a fight.
What kind of? No, I'm not
a hydration clause. He fought Barrios at 140, and he didn't want to fight Ryan at 140, and he fought him at 135, and made him, and they have an agreement where he can gain more than 10 pounds after the weigh-ins.
Oh, so
it's a hydration clause. So he put it, and if he didn't put that clause with Barrios, and Barrios is a 140 pounder.
Man.
So, you know, they know they're in for a fight. They can be selling it, whatever. It's easy work.
Yeah.
It's easy fight. And also, I mean, Ryan hasn't fought a guy at that level either. So it's just both ways. I'm excited about this fight.
It's a great fight. Put it this way, Barrios is now fighting at 147.
Okay. Now the weights, that's where my novice kicks in. I'm like, I have to remember, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Which is another, like, if you're like working on your life, shutting up when you don't know what you're talking about, that is a great sense of relief. Me, I used to just, you know, try to sound like I know what I'm talking about. But when I started shutting the fuck up, magic started to happen. I started to learn, you know. So now, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference?
Well, like Nevada and California, they were trying to start a thing because of UFC, MMA. I'm sorry, and fighters will put on 30 pounds in the MMA because the way they cut weight. And boxers, they allow you to. They were trying to put a rule where you could only gain 10% of your body weight. So I'll make it easy. If you weigh 150, you can only get as heavy as 165.
Okay.
So that is usually what fighters do. For Ryan, he can't gain more than 10 pounds, so it's probably like 8 to 7% of his body weight.
That's gonna be. Is that gonna be tough?
Well, it's tough because the first thing you want to do when fighter, depending on how he cuts his weight, every fighter cuts different. You know, if he cuts, a lot of guys they put on about 15, 20 pounds
inside of 1 or 2 days, right?
1 day.
1 day. That's
Overnight.
crazy.
Overnight.
That's the most I ever put on overnight, and this was one of my famed trips to all-you-can-eat Chinese food place. Was 6 pounds.
Yeah,
and that was.
But you weren't cutting. Imagine
I
if
wasn't.
You,
yeah.
Imagine if you just cut, didn't eat for a day or two, and then cut your water out, cut everything out, and then they let you go at the buffet and go crazy.
Oh man,
you would go down about 10 pounds, and you would gain those 10 pounds back plus what you eat. Yeah.
Jeez.
Plus the 6.
Yeah, in this one place I love to go. They do the I think it's MSG. Is it MSG? Is that the seasoning?
Yeah,
it'll just hold water. You just got.
But your water, it's mostly water that you gain. Water and if you put 6 pounds in front of me right now, I'll be like, I can't eat that shit. But those guys, you know,
you got flavor. You put 6 pounds in front of me, I'm like, what flavor is it? Like, we'll talk about, like, as we go along, we'll talk about, like, one thing with me is my eating. It's like, it's like I love food. So now, before we go, we're going to talk about, you guys want to email us, you guys can email me at thepeacefuljedi@gmail.com. Send me a topic or a question or anything, and we'll definitely hit it up. I'm giving us our first topic that I want to discuss because it happened and it pissed me off, and I'm like, how am I supposed to feel about this? Because it was like one of those things, couples in the gym.
Ooh.
Like I okay, now Maggie, I think Maggie knows this about me. I am a professional. I'm a rehabilitated hater. Okay, when I was at my height, I could hate with the best of them.
Yeah.
Okay, but then I started to realize how bad, how toxic that was, and how it was destroying my own life, and I stopped. Then I'm in the gym with this couple, and I felt it like come back, and I was like, I think this is a reasonable amount of hate. That I hate this couple. Right? Like, did they just kiss? Which they did. Yeah. You know, they kind of holding. She took a phone call. He's being super masculine. And like, to give him the flip side, there was another couple there who I didn't hate because they were just exercising.
Yeah.
They were just working out.
Yeah.
You know? And if I hated on that couple, it'd be because I'm single.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies. Right? If I hated on that couple, it'd just be because he had somebody and I don't. Right? So it's like, now, where do I properly gauge my hate for couples in the gym? Like, I'm like, dude.
First of all, you shouldn't hate nobody. I'm just saying. Like,
I hear you. That's why I'm looking at
hate
you.
Nobody. It's just funny to me when I do see couples in the gym, especially the novice guys that come into the gym. They're in the gym for like a week or two, and all of a sudden for sparring day, never sparred in their life, and they show up with their girl, wife, whatever. Mostly it's girlfriends. And those guys get torn to pieces because they go out there trying to prove they're tough. And usually in sparring class, the guys don't hit each other hard. Usually I put like experienced guys with novice guys where they can control the tempo. But sometimes you get those guys and they're trying to prove in front of their girlfriends that they're tough, and they start wailing away, and then they get dropped. And the girlfriend's looking all of a sudden at the other guy. Like, and that's like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And you just don't want to bring, you know, that's not cool. Like, and I mean, if you guys are going to both work out and take, I've seen couples who used to fight before, and I see them work out, and they're like, usually girls that know how to fight they come in there and they just go for what they're going for.
Now, those couples who take the classes, who do the drills, that's not. I'm talking about on the weight side.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo,
on the weight side,
I don't go over there. So
this is where I'm trying to do.
I feel like
my weight workout.
I hope the weight guys don't get mad at me, but I feel like I heard some guy in the podcast he was saying that was that famous dude Tate.
Andrew Tate.
He was talking about boxers look soft and they don't look mean or nothing, and they just go in there. They're always smiling. And bodybuilders, they're fucking looking. They get knocked out with one punch. You know, it's like it seems like in that weight room they even mad dog me when I walk in there, and I'm like, what the fuck, you know, like. You know, but in boxing, everybody's like super cool. And fighting in general, the guys are cool.
No, and I have that's another thing that really influenced me is how friendly, how pleasant the boxers are. You know, it's like they're kind, they're genuine guys who want to help you get better. Like, and coming from the comedy world, opposites. Yeah. Like when you dealt, like one time I met Bobcat Goldthwait, dick. Like I honestly met him in when I was I was about 2 years into the game, and I had I was hosting a show he was doing, and I was like, oh wow, and I really thought this is it because I had just produced my series Work Related. I was like, I'm going to introduce the Bobcat Goldthwait. Oh my god, just real no kindness whatsoever, and that kind of kept going. The nicest comic to me ever who was a pro is Bill Burr. Mm-hmm. Like I pitched him Work Related before I made it, and he was like, "Man, I love the sound of that. I'm locked down with Comedy Central." This is like in 2009 or whatever. But never got the kind of guidance, love that I get from the pro comics. Yeah. I mean, pro fighters,
pro
boxers. So there is that difference. But I'm just I'm thinking okay, I'll leave it like this. I'm gonna dial it back from we should have separate gyms. Okay, I kind of want to be there. I'm like, we should have separate gyms. You guys can drive there. She goes over there. When you get out of the car, she goes over to the left. You go to the right. That happens. But I'm just like, if you guys, a couple, they can do yoga together. That makes sense. They can run on the trail.
You hear that, Kwame? Kwame trying to get me to do yoga, but I'm.
Yoga's dope. I do yoga.
I know. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'll never try it, but it's cool.
But I don't think I if I had a girlfriend, is she going to spot me on the bench?
Man, okay.
All right, here we go.
Here's where I come in.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It depends on your perspective, personally. I go to a gym that's exclusively bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. Nothing but bodybuilders in there, and that goes for females and males. Sometimes I do see couples in there. Personally, I go in there and I'm about my business and I'm out.
Right.
I don't want to talk to people. That's one of the reasons why I even switch gyms, because I just want to work out and that's it. Get out of there. I don't need to be there any longer than I have to. So that said, my perspective on that is, do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, there are some, I could tell some people get uncomfortable with that shit, and I look at it and I'm like, I don't know. Personally, I just want to get my work done. That's it. I don't want to work with a significant. I don't even want to work with anybody else. Just me. You know what I'm saying? However, do I have a problem with it? It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. It
only bothered me when they started cuddling. Mm-hmm. Like, that's when I was just like,
there's a time for that. There's a time and a place.
That wasn't the time or the place. Mm-hmm. And me personally, if I have a girlfriend and she's like, I want to go to the gym with you, I don't
separate ways.
Yeah, it's like I don't see that happen. Like, that's gonna, I can't. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's probably like the only place I wouldn't, go. I just I wouldn't be able to function. I wouldn't be able to be me. I'd be like, hey, look, I'm doing this for you, so I'm gonna go there, get good, and I'm gonna bring it back home to you. You know,
unless they met in the gym, But usually they want to do things that their couples do,
And now, to that note, I'm actually like once I'm 2 days away from finishing my 100 days of perspective.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start dating.
Congratulations!
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That he doubted it. From the beginning.
Doubted it
from the beginning.
I just said, "You sure?" I said, "You sure you can do it?"
I have video of you saying, "Congratulations on your 30. I didn't expect you to make 5."
That was just motivation.
No, but in a couple days before that, coach just pulled me aside, completely unrelated.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Completely unrelated. And he just said, Adam, consistency is the thing that people need the most. You know, consistency is the thing that works the most.
Yeah.
And he had no idea I was about to go into this. He had no idea. But
Yeah, he did.
No, you didn't. Yeah, kind of. Obi-Wan, Anakin, and our Obi-Wan, Anakin kind of relationship. So, but one thing he did see over the years of me training at the gym and working with him is I'll go, then I'll disappear, and then I'll come back like 2-3 weeks later, and I had to break that habit. And that conversation really motivated me. Probably what finally motivated me into this 100-day period. Now, at the end of it, I told myself I'm going to start dating again. And I think joining a gym, not our gym, not, like joining another gym in addition to ours, might be one of those things where I like go to meet people. Because I don't know how to meet people. I don't. Like, I'm kind of lost in the whole world of dating. I don't know what happens.
Yeah.
So this is going to be my first.
You got me, dog.
But it's like, how am I going to be like, it's like, yeah, show up together. She's going to go do her workouts over there. I'm going to do my workouts over there. It's like, and if I finish before she finishes, I'm going to just wait in the, on my phone right there.
Yeah, personally, I ain't about it, but, if that's you, that's you.
You need your space.
Yeah, no, space, that's great. That's great. All right. Well, this has been a great episode. I'm really happy with it. I can't wait to see where we go with this. This is the beginning of awesome stuff. And like I said, we're going to call this one The Weigh-In.
Gotcha.
They now know us. And you guys come back. And again, you guys have something you want us to talk about, shoot me an email or follow me on any social media and just shoot me and slide into my DMs. And it's The Peaceful Jedi, no underscores, no numbers, The Peaceful Jedi on Instagram and TikTok. That's how you follow me. Coach, how do they follow you?
Joe, am I underscore? Fuck, I don't even know. Joe Hits. Am I underscore? Let me take it. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Joe Hits.
Joe Hits. And when it just put in Joe Hits.
Find The Peaceful Jedi, then you find me.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah.
And it's Joe Vargas. That's who he is. And Megan Duarte.
I'm in that.
He called you Megan again.
I said Megan. It was the cop. We got to start over. We got to
start the whole show all over.
I'm hungry. Gotta go. Okay. It's at MagsMAGZ_team hits.
Got it.
Yeah.
And next episode we're gonna go into the hits. We're gonna talk about the hits because that's a real big thing. That's a thing I love a lot. So folks, you guys are awesome, and we really appreciate you listening to us. So, we're about to get out of here for Maggie chews through the door.
No, I do want to come back with mental tough, but I feel like I got to write a paper on that. That's why I don't have
that
a short
mentality.
answer for that. Yeah.
No, and we got rounds.
And I'll elaborate on that next one because why we and her clicked and what I liked about her. Because I felt like a lot of coaches, and I'll elaborate more on the next one, but a lot of coaches think about conditioning, boxing, drilling, but not a lot on mental strength.
Dude, she is all about that mental strength. She won't like that mentality. I wanted to be friends with people. When I met her, I was getting new friends. I was like, I want her to be a new friend. And I figured out right away, you got to be a genuine, mentally strong person to be her friend.
Yeah.
And because
she sees right through the bullshit.
Exactly.
That's why I kind of like her a little bit. She's cool.
Yeah.
No, she's dope. So folks, you just got to preview what next week's going to be about. Come back. You'll enjoy it, and you'll thank yourself. My name's Adam. This is Coach Joe. That's Maggie. What's up? Bye.
Peace. Peace up, A-Town.
Megan.